In order to crack the case of the black market Super-Soldier Serum, Sam Wilson is going to need a little help from the Merc with the Mouth. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Captain America Symbol of Truth issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we check back on in with White Wolf, one of the players in this strange new Sentry game we keep hearing about. Alongside his new ally, Brock Rumlow Crossbones, White Wolf gets up to speed on everything that happened in the previous issue, including the train, the migrant workers, as well as another reference to the Wakandan immigration move, in which I'm almost certain White Wolf is at the heart of because they've brought it up twice now. Crossbones wants to go bust some heads and finally get a chance to kill Captain America, but Wolf calms him down, saying that what they're doing is much more subtle, much more refined, and that the true breadth of their scheme will reveal itself in time. From there we transition on over to Sam, who's having another meeting with Senator Mansfeld. These two don't see eye to eye on a lot of policy, but fate and circumstance has forced them to work together in a kind of comedically mismatched buddy cop sort of way. Mansfield fears that the whole migrant worker thing from the last issue will only strengthen people within his own party to try and enact harsher immigration laws. Cap, though, on the other hand, let's face it, this isn't his first rodeo, and he pretty much assumed from the jump that that's exactly what the bad guys were trying to do. Then, of course, there's still the hanging thread about the Super-Soldier Serum. Whoever was moving those people on that train last issue is also trying to gather all the components necessary to make a home batch, which we all know as comic readers, that sort of power in the wrong hands is never a good idea. Sam's quest to get to the bottom of this brings him all the way to Latveria, where he ends up coming face to face with Deadpool, the Merc with the Mouth. Wade was being tortured by the local Latverian military while he was trying to track down a bounty, a white supremacist arms dealer, who Sam now thinks may very well have branched out into the people's smuggling business. Now, at the end of the last issue, you may remember that Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon and Sam's de facto sidekick, had actually gone with those migrant workers, some of which who were actually members of his own family, to a secret military black site facility. Right away, all of this just is not sitting right with Falcon. He goes out of his way to try and talk to his cousin to find out what happened to them before they woke up in the train, and what he gets is cryptic to say the least. Apparently, these people weren't just smuggled, they were experimented on too, but sadly Falcon can't get to the bottom of it, so he decides to go and interrogate one of those mercs from the last issue. This guy ends up being very little help. Apparently they got paid half the money up front and the rest when the job is done. Beyond that, they were really just point and shoot type of guys. Before this guy can say any more, though, the facility ends up coming under attack and all hell breaks loose. Falcon rushes to try and rescue his cousin, and in the chaos, this merc ends up getting shot. This attack is ultimately revealed to be the work of White Wolf and Crossbones. Again, they don't exactly explain why they have such an invested interest in these smuggled people or this facility, but it's made abundantly clear they're trying to stoke the flames of something. Now, back over with Cap and Deadpool, they make their way through the rest of the Latverian facility, cracking jokes as they go. I must admit, Deadpool has some real zingers in this issue. He says that saying Super-Soldier Serum over and over again just wastes too much time, especially when you write it down, so they should just start calling it Triple S now. Also, no, the irony is not lost on the Merc with the Mouth either, that his real name is Wade Wilson, and he's currently with Captain America Sam Wilson now, meaning when they team up, it's Wilson and Wilson. You know, like maybe the most violent law practice ever put together. Eventually, the two men are able to fight their way past the baddies and escape. Sadly, though, they're not fully able to escape Latverian airspace, as all this commotion and face-punching just so happened to end up catching the ire of Latveria's dictator, Dr. Doom. Victor figures if his forces can't get the job done and stop this international incident, he's just gonna step right on in himself. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close. So that was Captain America Symbol of Truth issue number 2, everybody. And once again, I really like what Onobuchi is doing with this book. He's throwing Sam a bunch of different curveballs. We're seeing him bounce off characters that he doesn't normally get to bounce off of. The mysterious goals of the Sentry game is actually a really cool idea to tie these two very different Captain America books together and lets us see two different sides of a bigger epic. I'm really glad that Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon, gets to have his own little story story off to the side where he can develop himself, not just be a tag-along sidekick. I feel like writers gave up on this character when he was still so new, and I'm glad to see that someone else has swooped on in to try and do something more meaningful with him. Overall, I'd give this one a pretty damn positive 8 out of 10, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Wow, everyone, we are really staring down the barrel of a future where we not have just one, but two really great Captain America books on the shelf that are worth your time. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.